I'm Josh Mello. I'm the city's chief transportation official. First of all, I want to recognize Councilmember Lydia Koo, who's joining us this evening. Thank you for coming, Councilmember. These Connecting Palo Alto roundtables, and do forgive me, I normally don't read, but I have a lot of things that I want to make sure I cover in the intro, so just bear with me. These Connecting Palo Alto Community Roundtables are part of our Context-Sensitive Solutions Alternatives Analysis. This process began earlier this year in May. Tonight we're here primarily to talk about the railroad crossing at Churchill Avenue. However, if you have an interest in one of the other three railroad crossings in Palo Alto, please feel free to share that tonight as well. This whole process is scheduled to take about a year. So we're hoping to wrap up this process in the summer of 2018, where we will select what's called a preferred alternative for one or more of the 4 grade crossings that we have along the Caltrain Railroad corridor. Tonight we're hoping to brainstorm different ideas that you may have for the improvement of safety and circulation at one of those 4 railroad crossings. Our goal tonight is not to identify one solution or even a preferred solution, but to put things on the table for consideration. So I want you to open your minds a little bit tonight and think about what we could potentially do along the railroad corridor. That does not mean that ideas that have been talked about before are being put aside. It just means that we want to broaden the discussion a little bit and think a little bit outside the box. And we have some tools that will help you do that at the table. There was an analysis done in 2014 that looked at the 3 grade crossings of Churchill, Mello, and Charleston. And many of you may have seen a map that's been circulating around the community that shows potential impacts to properties at those 3 grade crossings. How many people have seen that map? Okay, please, I want to put your minds at ease tonight and let you know that that is not a map that is being used by the city at this point in time to identify properties for any alternatives that we're considering tonight. So that study was just a feasibility analysis that was done in 2014, primarily as a reaction to proposals by the High-Speed Rail Authority. The process we're undertaking tonight is taking a little bit of a step back, and those alternatives that were looked at in 2014 may or may not move forward in the process. But anybody who came here tonight thinking that we're at a point where we're going to be acquiring people's properties, we're not there. We're not even close to that point. So please put your minds at ease, and I'll reaffirm that at your table, and we can talk in more detail about it if you have any additional questions. We would like to touch on the various opportunities and challenge of each of the options. The first portion of the roundtable will be a facilitated discussion. So this is a roundtable discussion. It's not a big open forum like we've had. We've had 2 community workshops where we had a large forum with open Q&A. The intent of tonight is to have small working groups that will be able to talk in more detail about some of the options. And each table has a facilitator. If the facilitators could raise their hands. We have Claire, who's actually in our planning department. She's not a transportation expert. We have Hillary, who's the director of planning and community environment. Rosie, who works in our Safe Routes to School program. Roland, who is our data analyst, handles GIS, all types of mapping and data analysis. And then we have Ruchika, who's actually in our transportation group. And then I'm Josh, I'll be at table 1. So we have a mix of people who are transportation experts and who are not transportation experts, so please go easy on them with the technical questions. And if any of the facilitators have a technical question, I can come over to your table and quickly help if I need to. That's the first section of the roundtable tonight. At the end of the roundtable, we're going to give you what's called a preference card. And it's a card that has 3 tables on it, somewhat like a Keno card or a bingo card. And we're going to ask you to pick 3 different preferences for scenarios at each of the 4 grade crossings, and it'll make more sense to you when you see it. The goal of this is to, even if you came in here saying, the trench is my solution, I like the trench, I like the tunnel, we want to get something else out of you. So that's all well and good that you think the trench and the tunnel may be where we end up at the end of the day. But we want to hear what other ideas you may have and what other things you may be open to. So after we get some ideas out of you at this roundtable, we had one on Tuesday. We're going to have 2 more the week after Thanksgiving. We're going to put everything together into what's called a suite of alternatives, and it's going to be a master list of everything that everybody has wanted to put on the table. We're going to bring that to the Planning and Transportation Commission, the Rail Committee, City Council, back to the public, and they'll decide which one of those we move forward into further analysis. All of the decisions in this process will be open and transparent. You know, there'll be newspaper articles about them, there'll be questionnaires, council agendas. We'll send everybody who's on the email list. You'll be added to the email list if you're not already on it tonight. You'll receive notifications. So I want you to be assured that every decision that's going to be made in this process will be open and transparent. So don't feel like you are going to miss out on any information or end up in, you know, not knowing where we're going on this process. And as I said, it's scheduled to conclude in the summer of 2018. With that, we're going to break into the groups. I'm going to head over to table 1. Your facilitators have some questions that they're going to use, but the main goal of this is to have an open community discussion and let you guys really take the lead and lead the discussion. So thank you.